You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the show where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Matt, and I'm hosting this very special tournament edition of Triviality. This is going to be a Simpsons tournament. So if you're into Simpsons, this is going to be great. And if you're not, you're probably not going to know what we're talking about. Joining me today is Neil, who is probably part of the latter group. Not a big Simpsons fan. How's it going, Neil?
I'm doing well. Thank you for introducing me, Matt. Yeah, I nothing against The Simpsons. I never really got through all of it. So I'm here more in a supportive capacity and keeping score. I do remember when The Simpsons aired after Tracy Ullman. I think that might have been when I first saw it. Didn't know what it was. And then in grammar school and high school, watched a little bit of it. Big Phil Hartman fan, but that's really all I can contribute today. So
it's funny because, like, for such a big pop culture guy, you have these really weird kind of like blank spots in your knowledge. And Simpsons is one. Simpsons and Office, right?
Simpsons, yep. Office, don't know anything about. And the only movie that was ever censored for me is because I watched pretty much the worst horror movies and things like that when I was a kid because I knew it was all fake, was Toxic Avenger. My parents taped over one of the sex scenes. So that's really all I can... Those are my blind spots. Toxic Avenger, Office, and Simpsons.
Oh, the cult classic Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
I did not expect to get a Toxic Avenger reference on this episode, but here we are. So the way this tournament is going to work, we're going to have two groups of 6 where the 2 top scoring contestants in each round are going to move on to the final round. So let's meet some of the contestants in round 1. So joining us first all the way from Sydney, Australia is going to be Dani from the Escape the Podcast. Dani, how's it going?
Hey, not too bad. It's 1:15 a.m. Feeling good, feeling energetic, as you should. Looking forward to it. Last time I was on this show, you were very generous with Australia questions for me, so I'm hoping that tonight goes the same way.
Yeah, well, there is one Australia episode of The Simpsons, and luckily all 15 questions are from that, so you're lucky. So there you go. So what do you have a favorite episode of The Simpsons?
My favorite growing up was always the Frank Grimes one. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's glorious.
Homer's Enemy is a classic. That is true. All right. Well, good luck today, Dani. Meeting our second contestant, Joe Nguyen. How's it going, Joe? They say the last name right. I always say it wrong.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't bother correcting people anymore. It's fine.
There's an N sound in there, isn't there?
Probably.
Is it Nguyen? All right. Well, good.
It's Nunez, actually. It's weird. It's a dialect thing.
Yeah, that's
depends what part of the country you're in, right? Yeah.
Joe, where are you coming from?
Brooklyn, New York, my man.
Brooklyn, New York. And is Homer versus New York your favorite episode, or do you have a favorite episode?
My personal favorite episode is probably the I Love Lisa episode where Ralph gets the I choose you card and becomes obsessed. And that's my personal favorite. Hits the heartstrings.
Can't go wrong with that episode. Well, good luck, and thank you for joining us, Joe.
Thank you, Matt.
Moving on, our third contestant today is Kylie. How is it going, Kylie?
It's going good. It's early, though. I was going to say that I was worried about the time zone thing, and then Dani's over here, like, on the other side of the world, so I don't think my Pacific time is any kind of complaint now.
Yes, it is very early, and I am very hungover. It's 8 a.m. here on the West Coast. Where are you coming from on the West Coast, Kylie?
Well, strangely, I'm in Arizona, but we don't have daylight savings time. So at this time of the year, we go Pacific, and then in the winter, we'll be on Mountain. It's all very confusing, and time zones are the worst.
Yeah, you gotta love America, where we decide whether or not we want to follow the rules, which goes to social distancing and stuff. But we're all at least 6 feet apart, so that's very nice. Do you have a favorite episode, Kylie?
I really like the entire first 10 seasons I've seen like probably too many times. But I think I would have to go with the Who Shot Mr. Burns 2-parter. Mm-hmm. Basically, I don't want to say any favorite parts in case they end up in questions later and inadvertently give things away. But yeah, the whole mystery of that, and that's my favorite.
Did you figure it out when you were watching it live? Did you know who shot Mr. Burns?
No. I thought it was Smithers.
Yeah, nobody did. And there was a contest and nobody won. So that makes sense. All right. So moving on, our fourth contestant is Rick. How's it going, Rick?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing good. Where are you Skyping in from?
Toronto. I think I'm the only Canadian here.
All right. We got a very international flavor for this one. Spelled with the O-U-R because we want to keep it very international. Do you have a favorite episode, Rick?
I really enjoy all the Treehouse of Horror episodes. If I had to pick one out of there, same thing. I was wondering that as well. Was how do you not ruin questions during this process right now? So.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. You like all the treehouse episodes?
I like the treehouse episodes as well.
Yeah, which would be the which episode is that? Where there's the jockeys they live in the treehorse. Not a great episode, to be honest. There's no questions on anything past season 10, so you don't have to worry about those.
Sorry. Do we get to have fights over what are good episodes or not? Because I really beg to differ. I love that.
You do love the jockey episode.
I love the jockey.
Interesting. Well, we don't get to argue, but we will have that noted. There you go. All right. Moving on. Patrick, you are our fifth contestant. How's it going, Patrick?
Excellent. Glad to be here.
All right. And where are you Skyping in from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right. And what is your favorite episode?
I love Marge versus the Monorail.
Classic. I believe a Conan O'Brien penned episode. Very nice one. All right. Well, good luck, Patrick. And joining us lastly is it Charles or Chaz? You go by Chaz?
Chaz, yeah.
Perfect. How's it going, Chaz?
It's going just fine here.
All right. And where are you Skyping in from?
I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
There we go. And what is your favorite episode?
So I was actually going to say Marge versus the Monorail. I've been sitting here and all my head's going Monorail. It's all I can think of. So Monorail.
Yeah, there you go.
Great choice.
So, all right. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Marge versus the Monorail. Probably my favorite episode. Yeah, it's either that one or Homer's Enemy. Or You Only Move Twice. I don't know. I can't choose. There's so many good ones. I love Hank Scorpio. Too bad he never came back, really. Unless he did in the later seasons, but I didn't watch so much. Neil, do you have a favorite episode?
I've only seen a couple that I can pull off of memory. There's one where I really apologize for the not knowing the names, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger-like character, he's really funny. The actor, Wolfbane or something, right?
You're close.
Or something. He's really good. And then there's an episode. Yeah. And then there was an episode I remember always replaying on TV, and it's what I thought The Simpsons was, which was the groundskeeper at the school was like taking his shirt off or something, and he was like trying to, I don't know, hurt Bart or burn the school down. I can't remember. He was doing something really nefarious, and that's all I thought The Simpsons was. But yeah.
I really want to turn this episode into Neil trying to describe The Simpsons, but we're not going to do that.
Questions where Neil describes this episode, and we got to figure out what episode it is.
I'll tell you what. If there's a tie, while we're playing, I will look up an episode, and then I will do my best as a tiebreaker question to describe it in a poor way.
All right.
There you go.
Well, that sounds great. There are going to be 15 questions. And as I said earlier, the top 2 contestants will move on to the final. Are you guys ready to play today's game?
Ready. Let's go.
Ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Seeing some thumbs up. So let's get going with question 1. Starting off with a pretty basic question. What does the J in Homer J. Simpson stand for? All right. So let's go with Dani first.
All right. He sweeps the bushes aside and reveals it's Homer J. Simpson.
All right. And Joe?
J-A-Y. J. Simpson. Yep.
Kylie?
J-A-Y. J.
Rick?
J-A-Y, J.
Patrick?
J-A-Y, J.
And Chaz.
Let's make that a clean sweep. J-A-Y. J.
All right. Thought I'd start off with a softball, so everyone is 1 for 1. Well, good job, guys. Moving on to question 2. What does Homer say his dream is to Mr. Scorpio in You Only Move Twice?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Wow.
All right, we'll start with Dani. What's the answer?
He's always wanted to own the Dallas Cowboys.
Joe?
Own the Dallas Cowboys.
Kylie?
He wants to own the Dallas Cowboys.
Rick?
Yep, on the Dallas Cowboys.
Patrick?
He wants to own the Dallas Cowboys.
And Chaz?
It's why it's so sad that he ends up owning the Denver Broncos, because he wants to own the Dallas Cowboys.
That is correct. He wants to own the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people laughed at him when he says that dream, but you know what? Well, it's probably because Jerry Jones is never selling the Dallas Cowboys. So everyone's right there. So we can move on to question 3. Question 3. In Homer's Barbershop Quartet, the B-Sharps hold auditions to replace Chief Wiggum, and they show 4 different people's auditions. Name 3 of them.
First time we have a little bit of thinking, it seems, here, so that's good.
All right, locked in.
Yeah, I'm it's not coming. Am I the last one?
Yep, yeah, feel free to talk it out and give your answers if you'd like.
So the question was, who was to replace
Chief Wiggum?
Chief Wiggum in the auditions. So I know it's not Barney, because that's after they give up and they hear him. I'm just trying to think of who was a character at that time, because there was a lot of characters that weren't even there yet at that time. All right, I'm locked in.
All right, so everybody is locked in. We'll start with Dani. What were your answers?
I think I went with the least obvious one was the one I forgot. So I have Jasper, Groundskeeper Willie, and then Dr. Doolittle / Chief Wiggum himself.
All right. And Joe?
Yeah, I was rough on this one. I remember Chief Wiggum in disguise. I just went with Abe and Mr. Burns. Couldn't pull any of them.
Okay. And Kylie?
So I said Chief Wiggum in disguise, Jasper, and Groundskeeper Willie.
All right. Rick?
I had the captain. I'm not really sure his name. And I had Jasper, and I had Groundskeeper Willie.
Okay. And Patrick?
I had Chief Wiggum in disguise, Groundskeeper Willie, and I had Mo.
Okay. And Chaz?
So I like everybody had Chief Wiggum in disguise, but I also had I put Mo and Reverend Lovejoy. I seem to remember him doing a guitar thing for some reason.
He's playing maybe Michael Rowe the Boat Ashore, which is actually a different episode. So the answers were Chief Wiggum in disguise, which a lot of you guys got. It was also Grandpa, who sang a swinging edition of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. we had Groundskeeper Willie, who sang Dune Tune, if you guys recall that. And Jasper, who made up words to Theme to a Summer Place. So the people with points there are going to be Dani and Kylie. So good job for you guys.
Good job.
All right. Cool. Question 4. In Rosebud, what band performed a special rendition of Happy Birthday for Mr. Burns? And what band does Mr. Burns tell Smithers to have killed afterwards?
I have no idea, so I'm just going to lock in with some garbage.
Nice.
Locked in.
Yeah. I also don't know, so I'm just going to lock in with garbage.
All right. Is everyone locked in with answers or garbage?
I'm still thinking of my garbage.
Okay. You know, after the first 2 questions, I was concerned that this was too easy, but now I feel a little better.
I can't even come up with good garbage.
Is good garbage really better than bad garbage?
Okay, I will lock in.
All right, everyone is locked in. Dani, what did you say?
All right, I believe the band that it actually is the Ramones, and what Mr. Burns orders is to have the Rolling Stones killed.
All right, and Joe?
Hey, I think they like us. It's the Ramones, and they kill the. They said have the Rolling Stones killed.
All right, and Kylie?
This is embarrassing garbage. Casey and the Sunshine Band and Styx.
Very different answer there. Rick, what did you say?
I went also with the Ramones, and I was actually choosing between AC/DC and Rolling Stones, but I'm happy I went with Rolling Stones.
There you go. Patrick?
I knew it was the Ramones, but I did not know what band he wanted killed, so I had nothing on that one.
All right, and Chaz.
Yeah, I picked Aerosmith as the band that was playing. They're in a different episode, but for some reason I completely guessed Rolling Stones. So yeah.
So there you go. The answer was the Ramones, and he said, "Have the Rolling Stones killed." And I think, but Mr. Burns, that was not have the Rolling Stones killed. So that is your answer. Neil, who got points there?
So points for Dani, Joe, and Rick on that one.
All right. Question 5. In The Way We Was, what class does Homer tell Marge he needs help with in order to get to spend time with her?
Seeing ballet or something. I'm seeing art class, but I think she was art class in something different episode. Oh, I got something.
All right. And we'll start with Dani. What would you go with?
All right. So my hardest part is remembering which episode is which from the title, but I think this is the one where it's French.
Okay. And Joe?
French class. Yep.
Kylie?
I said French.
And Rick?
I got this wrong. I thought it was Debate Club.
And Patrick?
French.
And Chaz?
First appearance of Artie Ziff, French class.
Yep. This was French class. Homer was not in French class, but he knew that Marge was tutoring. And yeah, so that's how that went. So
after 5 questions, it looks like tied for third place with 3 points right now are Rick, Patrick, and Chaz. Tied for second place, Joe and Kylie with 4. And leading the pack, Dani with a perfect 5.
Right.
That's a scary place to be.
All right, moving on to question 6. In Bart Gets Famous, what is the catchphrase that Bart gets famous for? All right. It looks like everyone is locked in after that question that I read 3 times. Perfect. Dani, what was your answer?
The I didn't do it, kid.
Joe.
Wuzzle wazzle? No, it's I didn't do it.
Kylie.
I didn't do it.
Happy to say I didn't do it, but I did start thinking it was because I felt like it, but I went with I didn't do it.
And Patrick.
I didn't do it.
And Chaz.
Featuring the I didn't do it dancers. I didn't do it.
And the answer is I didn't do it.
I'm going to mute out my laughing.
No, that's absolutely fine.
It wasn't, you know what I mean, Vern, right, Matt?
No, no. There actually was an Ernest question at some point here because he played Cooter on a later episode.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that. Ernest was in an episode.
I didn't.
It's actually one of his last appearances before he died, I believe. But yeah, that's a season 9 or 10 episode. But yeah, moving on to question 7. Which character recorded the love ballad, Can I Borrow a Feeling? All right. I believe everyone is locked in. Dani, what did you say?
I don't have the best voice to imitate it, but I really hope someone does. Kirk Van Houten.
Okay. Joe?
Not me. It's Kirk.
Kylie?
Also not me, but it is Kirk Van Houten.
And Rick?
Yeah, Kirk Van Houten.
And Patrick?
Kirk Van Houten. Can I borrow a feeling? What is it? Can I borrow a cup of love?
Mm-hmm. Chaz?
Yeah, that's the lyrics. Kirk Van Houten.
Yep. The answer is Kirk Van Houten. All of you guys drawing a perfect representation of dignity. So
he's a pretty big wheel down at the cheese factory. Or the cracker
You
factory.
sleep in a race car bed?
No, I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
One of the best episodes.
When his cassette gets crushed and Homer's laughing at him and he's like, "What, can I borrow a feeling?" And it's you. You're on the cover.
Absolutely amazing. All right. Question 8. What is the name that Milhouse enters when playing Bone Storm?
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Also locked in.
I remember the episode because it's the one where Bart gets caught shoplifting. But for the life of me, I cannot think of what he puts in there. So I'm not gonna come up with it. So I'll lock in there.
All right, everyone is locked in. Danny, what did you say?
Well, he tries to get Thrill House, but all he manages to fit is Thrill Ho.
All right, Joe.
My NHL 19 hockey team name was the Thrill Hose because it's Thrill Ho.
Kylie.
Yep, it's Thrill Ho.
And Rick.
I am not a thrill ho.
All right, Patrick.
Thrill Ho.
And Chaz.
I just wrote down that I couldn't come up with it, so I just wrote down that he wanted to be known as the House.
Mm-hmm. And the answer was Thrill Ho. Thrill House not fitting in Bone Storm, apparently.
It was last year that I discovered, Thrill House like Millhouse.
No.
Last year.
That's amazing.
What is Bone Storm, Matt? Is it a game?
Yeah, I guess it's like a Mortal Kombat kind of style game. That's the game that Bart wants. He says, "Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell," if you guys recall. Does anyone remember? This isn't a question. So does anyone remember the game that he gets instead?
It's like Lee Trevino's golf or something.
Lee
like
Carvalho's
that.
putting challenge. Yep.
Lee? Yes.
There is a Flash version online that I can post somewhere where you can play Lee Carvalho's putting challenge if you guys ever want to spend a good 15 minutes doing nothing.
If you haven't, it is actually excellent. I've played it before.
You've selected Power Drive. Outstanding. All right. Question 9. What is the name of the camp director at Camp Krusty?
I'm not going to get it. I'll lock in with the wrong answer.
Okay.
I'll lock in.
All right. Everyone is locked in. Danny, what did you say?
Mr. Black.
And Joe?
Mr. Black.
Kylie?
I locked in with a tap because I couldn't pull it. And as soon as they said it, I can picture the whole thing now. So take my 0.
All right. Rick?
Corporal punishment.
All right. Patrick?
Mr. Black.
And Chaz?
Yeah, I got nothing. Tap.
All right. The answer is Mr. Black. And he shows up. It's Mr. Black. All right. Question 10. Who provided the voice of Maggie in Lisa's first word?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
How do you guys write so fast? Locked in.
All right. Everyone appears to be locked in. Danny, what was your answer?
Was it Liz Taylor?
All right. And Joe?
Elizabeth Taylor.
And Kylie?
I said Elizabeth Taylor.
And Rick?
Liz Taylor.
Patrick?
Liz Taylor.
And Chaz?
Definitely Liz Taylor.
All right. The answer is Liz Taylor. Great job, everyone. All right. Now we can go to Neil. What are the scores after 10?
All right. So we'll just start. Let's see. We'll start with the lowest score, which is still a respectable score. We got Chaz with 6, Rick with 7, Kylie and Patrick tied with 8. And the top 2 scores right now, neck and neck, are Joe with 9 and still in the lead and still batting perfect, Danny with 10.
All right. Seems like they're showing The Simpsons quite a bit down in Australia, so you're able to keep up with that down there. All right. We'll move on to question 11. When Herb Powell invents the baby translator with the help of Maggie, what is the one thing that she asks for? All right. We'll start with Danny. What did you say?
I want what the dog's eating.
All right. And Joe?
I want what the dog's eating. I'll get you something nice.
Kylie?
I said to be picked up.
All right. And Rick?
I had a gold pacifier, but I know that's from something else.
All right. Patrick?
I want what the dog is eating.
And Chaz?
Yep, I want what the dog's eating.
Yep. The answer is I want what the dog is eating. Great episode. Baby translator. Definitely don't have anything like that yet. So technology, this is one of the things The Simpsons has not predicted, apparently. Question 12. What was the name of Moe's character on The Little Rascals? All right. Everyone is locked in. Danny, what did you say?
Were you the ugly one? And he says, no, I was the tough kid. And I think I'm going for Smelly.
All right. Joe?
Same vein, I went with Stinky. I'm not sure though.
And Kylie?
I said Stinky, but I'm not confident.
All right, Rick?
I went with Momar, but I know that's wrong as well.
All right, Patrick?
I went with Slappy.
And Chaz?
I couldn't get out of my head Kid Ugly, which is his boxing name, but I had Spunky written down.
We would have went with Kid Presentable, also an answer. No, this was actually Smelly. So Danny gets points there. Stinky was very close. But yeah, he was the tough kid, Smelly. Alfalfa stole his bit, and that's kind of how that went. Unfortunate. Question 13. What are nachos Flanders style? All right. So the answers are locked in. Danny, what did you say?
I think it's cucumbers with cottage cheese.
And Joe?
Same thing. Cucumber slices and cottage cheese.
And Kylie?
Cucumber slices with cottage cheese.
Rick?
Nachos con huevos.
All right, Patrick?
Cucumber slices with cottage cheese, which is disgusting.
And Chaz?
All I could get in my head was, and some of us just stare at a plain white bread with an extra glass of water on the side for dipping. And I don't know why that was what was stuck, so I got nothing.
Yeah, a man who is very much ahead on the keto trend. It was cucumbers with cottage cheese, which I have never tried, but I can't imagine it's very good. So moving on to question 14. What two words were first said in the episode Lisa the Iconoclast, one of which was officially recognized by Webster's New Millennium Dictionary of English? And I know this because my note didn't try to autocorrect one of them.
I have a thing. I have one thing, but not two. So
perfect.
That's what.
All right. We'll start. All the answers are locked in. Danny, what did you say?
This question is so hard unless you know which episode that title is. It's embiggen and cromulent.
Darn it,
Joe?
That's exactly what it is. Oh gosh, I was on the wrong episode. I said meh and Blocko Land.
Kylie?
I said embiggens. I knew it was definitely embiggens, and I couldn't exactly 100% remember the second one. So I took a stab with cromulent, and based on Danny's record, I'm pretty happy about that.
The perfectly cromulent answer. Rick, what did you say?
I only came up with the one meh, which I know was started on The Simpsons, but I didn't get anything else.
All right. Patrick?
Not from the episode. I think I got confused on this one. I wrote unpossible, and I could not come up with another one. So.
All right. And Chaz?
Yeah, no. Embiggens and cromulent. A noble spirit embiggens the smallest man.
All right. The answers are cromulent and embiggen. And I believe embiggen is the one that is officially recognized, but I can't remember. There's no red lines under my notes right now. But there we go. Question 15. Last question of the round. Before arriving in Springfield, Lyle Landley sold monorails to Brockway, Ogdenville, and this town. All right. It looks like everyone is locked in. Danny, what did you say?
North Haverbrook.
And Joe?
North Haverbrook.
Kylie?
North Haverbrook.
Rick?
North Haverbrook.
Patrick?
My favorite episode, North Haverbrook.
I was hoping you'd get that one. And Chaz?
It put them on the map, North Haverbrook.
The answer is North Haverbrook. So points for everyone there. All right, so that is going to wrap up round one. Neil, let's get a score recap.
Okay, after the first episode here, it looks like our final scores are going to be Rick with 8 points, Chaz with 9, tied with 11 points, Kylie and Patrick in second place, and moving on to the final round will be Joe with 12, and moving to the final round, perfect, is Danny with 15.
Wow, so it's really, really tough to beat 15.
Mathematically impossible to beat 15.
Yeah.
The best thing about Simpsons quizzes is regardless of what answers you get, you just feel so good just hearing people talk about them and saying all the great bits.
Absolutely. This is absolutely a blast.
So congrats to Joe and Danny. Moving on. Let's get some final words. Chaz, came up a little short today, but how'd you feel about the game overall?
Oh, it was great. It was good. I love The Simpsons. It's absolutely the best. it's all about what you can think of and what you can't. And I'm still playing softball in my head from the end of the softball episode, which is going to just be stuck there for the rest of the day, and I'm pretty good with that. But either way, I'll see you guys for Star Trek next week. So
there you go. You
got a lot of these tournaments coming up, so there's something for everyone. Patrick, any last words?
Me fail quiz? That's impossible. Yeah. This is so much fun. Congratulations, Joe and Danny.
Awesome. Rick?
Yeah, this was great. Congratulations. I hope one of you two take the final, so at least we could say we lost to the winners. No sports, Simpsons, Matt.
I know. They're on there. It's just I didn't get the Magic Johnson question on this one. It's going to be in a future episode. Do apologize there. Kylie,
okay.
Any last words for you, Kylie?
No, just thanks for inviting me on. This was a blast. I am going to spend the rest of the day agonizing over the ones that I got wrong and can't believe I couldn't come up with the Rolling Stones and Ramones, but such is trivia. But Awesome job to Joe and Danny. This was really fun.
And the good news is you can now watch all the episodes on Disney Plus in their original 4:3 sizing, which is what a lot of people are asking for. So nothing's cropped out because there's some really weird cropping in some of those HD remakes there. Danny, feeling pretty confident going into the final?
Well, I've just started getting the 2 a.m. shakes, so I'm not so sure. Let's find out.
All right. And how do you feel, Joe?
Very scared. Danny, please.
One of us is clearly going to take this. We've got the strong, what do you call it? The strong ladder bracket.
Yeah, this is the group of death is what we would call it if the World Cup were to happen at any point in the next few years. Who knows? So yeah, that'll do it for episode 1. Thanks to all the contestants. Thanks for Neil for hanging in there and listening to things he didn't know anything about. My name was Matt, and this was Triviality.